Hey, welcome back, brother. How are you today?
I'm doing so fired up, brother. 4 o'clock. I got up early morning. I blasted out. I've been thinking about this one hotel. We already raised close to, let's see, out of 7 million. We have raised 5 million, five already in 14 days. So that is closing in 60 days. But this one, another hotel in Las Vegas came into our lap just last week. We knew it. We've been working with our partner for the last 6 months to have us take the mezzanine debt out, bring the equity in 13% annual for 3-year hold, and our investors, accredited investors only. I can talk about it. That's why it's on my mind. 13%. Day one, they'll get paid monthly, because this 8 point, no, how much? 8.9 million revenue hotel right on the strip, 307 rooms, and it's just marvelous,
This is
marvelous
this is
deal.
Strip Las Vegas, like
Yeah,
right next to the
opposite
MGM.
to, right opposite to MGM, brother. And they're going to open up Las Vegas A's Stadium, $1.3 billion construction right next to it, because Tropicana got demolished, which I stayed there many times, by the way. It was a
I've
cheap
stayed in the
hotel.
Tropicana. I'm familiar
Yeah.
with it.
Hey, that's all Vinny could afford, right?
I'm
So,
familiar with it, brother. Yeah. 2015, I was in the
yeah.
Tropicana.
And this collection six is right next to it, right next to it. And they just sold the Hooters Hotel just recently for
I saw that
150
being
million,
renovated. Yeah.
$158 million or something.
Wow.
My daughter was telling me. So this is worth 52 million right now. It'll be worth 72 million once we get our business plan going and everything.
And it's Las Vegas, right? That's the place that people travel to. That's all the conferences.
Yes,
Yeah,
yes.
that's the big travel place. So you need a lot of rooms out there. You need a lot of yeah.
Totally. And in the budget level, see lots of these Arias and, of course, the MGMs and the Venetians, that's for rich people. But for
Right.
medium families and, who want to bring their kids and all that, sometimes, they're going, traveling and all that. So as a budget hotel, Collection 6 is amazing. It's one of the top in the nation with
Now that
9 million.
Tropicana's gone, the
I
budget
know, I know.
six. This is
It's the
where
one.
this is the option. It's all you got.
That's all you got, brother. So we are really, really
Yeah,
hopeful.
Hooters and Tropicana are gone, so that was the competition. Those are wiped out. That's crazy how that works. So today's principle is sell your product before you build or create it. There's a lot of notes that you sent over because this is actually a lot of real estate. A lot of real estate is promote, 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 promote,
Totally,
then
totally, totally.
deliver.
Exactly. One has to be enthusiastic. First, you, as a syndicator, as a fund manager, that you are an amazing, amazing fund manager. And, I'm so proud to be associated with you. And in October, we got that great summit. We're going to bring only 100 millionaires, multimillionaires, only 100, of them. That's it. And give them so much power, so much knowledge that they can take their business to the next level, and so much they will learn in that special summit. 2.5 day summit, is that right? 2.5 day, kind of
Yeah, so
like
you'll
that.
you'll be speaking at the summit, and one of the things you will be speaking
Yes,
about is, what are you doing right now? What is working?
yes,
And
yes,
these
yes.
hotels that you're closing, you've been doing the RELs. You sold quite a bit of multifamily over the last 5, 6 years. You've really exited
Yep.
a lot of
Yeah.
multifamily assets. This
Yes,
this principle you were just talking about right before this call. You were talking about how you're going to email your investors. Now the deal's not
yes.
closed. The deal actually, this one's unique.
It's
You actually
closed.
already own this.
No, there's no closing. We own the hotel.
Yeah, this is
$52
different.
million. It's different. And we have the PPM ready, everything. People can start getting 13% annual. What? I mean, people are dying to get cash flow right now, to be truthful. A lot of my investors are saying, Vinny, not only your two multifamilies in Houston and Austin, and we won the lawsuit, by the way, $2 million. So we're going to give $4 million we won. So we are giving our investors 2 million back. That's what we decided yesterday. But the beauty is that lots of all these cash flowing deals last 4 or 5 years have dried up because of insurance cost high, capital calls, interest rates high, property taxes high, all those, right? So people are really, really yearning, is the word, to get something good, solid, cash flowing deal, which can give them 13% per year, 3 year hold only, just 3 year hold, and they can make 39% straight,
And
right?
that's not internal rate of return. That's an actual rate of return.
Actual, no, no, no. Every month,
That's an
like
APR.
13, yeah, APR, and 13 divided by 12. I should find out 1 point some
I'm
percent
very
of
good
your
at
deal.
12. Do I can do 1%. That's easy.
That's easy.
13
What's
is a little
easy?
harder.
I should remember that because I'll be, promoting it and everything. And our pixels, Google Pixels are ready. Our
I could do
website
this.
is
If
ready.
when somebody invests $1 million, they get 130,000 at the end of the year, but they get it monthly spread out across the 12
Spread
months. So
out. You got it. You got it. I mean, it's a killer deal because the cash flowing, this hotel has been cash flowing $9 million revenue, 8.8, 8.9 consistently,
right,
consistently every year because it's a, budget hotel, we call it,
right.
right? Yeah, yeah, yeah.
They're
Anyway,
consistent.
let's
They're
go into,
consistent.
yeah,
So we,
consistency is there.
So we've got a very interesting principle. So sell your product before you build or create it. This is in real estate. We were just saying the crux of real estate, or the foundation of real estate is before you buy a building, nobody really knows anything about it, and so you have
Yeah,
to go and convince the banks that it exists. So what do? We create these
yes,
spreadsheets that say this is what the T12 pro forma looks
exactly.
like. That's
Yep,
predicting the future.
totally,
But you do
totally.
ground up construction as well. So how do
Yes.
you go to investors when it's just dirt? Or there's a building that's nothing like what the building's going to look like when you're done. How do you go to investors? How does that process work?
Oh, amazing. See, the thing is, you got to do some renditions, we call it. There are companies who could do virtual pictures of what you are building. It's
And
so
Vinny, let
cheap
me let
now.
me pre-frame this
Yeah.
for everybody who's listening. If you're really wondering how wealth works and how to develop and diversify your wealth and get more passive incomes versus active income, today's principle, we're going to dive into how it actually works, like how to identify like good deals and let the good
Totally.
deals flow to you instead of you having to
Yes.
go chase deals. Let the deals flow to you so that your
Yeah.
money can then go and invest and then flow back, like constantly flowing back. So you do have a principle and a philosophy is going to allow for that to be a little bit easier. Before we talk about the how, why is it important? Why is it that people have to have capital before a deal happens? Why is it important that capital exists before a
Oh.
deal actually occurs?
Oh my gosh, this is so important what you just touched on. Lots of my students in the academy, they say, Vinny, we want to find this deal. I'm going to buy 600 units. I said, what are you talking about? Have you gotten even 10 units? Or 15 units, you're looking at big numbers. I see you have very, very thinking big attitude, but let's come down on the ground level. I started with a duplex to 14 units to 34 units to 50 units to 8,500 units, blah, blah, blah. The thing is, you got to start small, then you scale up. How can you scale up? By having investors' money ready, soft commitments with your family, friends, people that you know, and you cultivate, you educate them and say, hey, I'm working on this target market. This is what I'm going to be looking at. I'm learning this business. Because, when you start, you have to be candid, you have to be truthful, you cannot lie. You got to be totally authentic and say, just like my investor, he says, Vinny, are you going to move to Texas? I said, no. He said, do you have the deal locked up? I said, no. He gave me 50,000, right? 20 years back. Then he brought $29 million. He invested in every deal. And then he brought six other friends and they invested 29 million with me. Anyway, the key thing is you got to have the money ready. The down payment, closing cost, acquisition fee, blah, 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 all those things cost money.
Renovations. Yep.
Totally, totally, totally. I mean, the thing is, you got to learn the right way. That's what I spent $120,000 borrowed money, by the way. I took five of my partners with me to the boot camp and trainings. And Three of them quit. No, two of them quit. We were three left. That's right. We were three left and we scaled up. That's my ideal investment group, ideal management group. We did amazing work together. Then I started my own company in 2020, 2014, November, when I bought 192 units. Just a brand new company, Monil Investment Group and Monil Management Group, and just took off like crazy. That's 10 years old, only 10 years old, brother. Wow.
It's amazing how fast it can happen, but for the investor who has never done a deal, let's say they're the engineer or the company manager or owner, the IT technician who's saved up 500,000 in the stock market over the last few years, and then
Hmm.
that grew because the stock market grew, and maybe they're
Yep.
sitting on $1 or $2 million. If they want to pre-sell and get their money into a deal, but the deal's not ready yet. So let's say they're shopping
Yeah.
investors, and
Hmm.
the operators like Vinny, you 2 months ago didn't have this deal. This hotel
Yeah.
wasn't there. You were
Hmm.
taking what's called soft commits. So you were
Yeah.
taking the idea of the deal and saying, okay, the idea of your liquidity, because some of these people also are selling a business or they are
Yes.
selling a piece of
Yes.
real estate or they're
Hmm.
going to sell stocks, but the stock market's down right now and they're waiting for it to go back up. So they're not super liquid, but they know they want to be. Can you just describe what the value of the soft commit is, where its place is in the business, and how a passive investor should look at that?
I'm
How they
so
can
glad
prep
you.
for soft commitments, because that's something we never talk about. We never really talk about the soft commit and like how
I'm so
that is
glad.
pre-selling, right? That's me saying I will get my money there, but it may not be there yet,
You know
right?
what? Can I mention this is the best thing you asked me? See, how I started from one investor, and then we have 582 investors now in our very strong database, right? The key thing is you got to educate, educate, educate. Don't rationalize. Do not rationalize if this person in my family, uncle, aunt, brother, sister, everybody's looking to make passive income. I mean, economy in USA, people are under debt and everything, and to both husband wife work, all that thing. So all these savings, they have to put securely in an instrument to get cash flows monthly or quarterly. That's the mantra number one. Stock market up and down. If you don't know, you can lose your shirt and pants and everything. But real estate never goes to zero overnight. It never does, never does. It appreciates. And then the tax laws are built in USA for real estate people, investors, because the property that you buy for 10 million in residential, let's say apartment complex, IRS says it'll be worth zero after 27.5 years. Hold on. But after 27.5 years, it might double in value. It'll be worth 20 million in that year, that long, but IRS says it'll be zero. So you take out depreciation, which every year you depreciate the value of the property on P&L. That makes you cash flowing is there, but the P&L, when the taxation comes, it comes into negative, and that gets to the passive income. For I just did interview yesterday, Ted Lanzaro. It's going to come out very soon. My podcast. He's a great friend of mine. 30 years, 35 years in as CPA, right there from Connecticut. Just a
Oh, wow.
wonderful meeting yesterday. Oh my gosh. But the key thing is investors, savvy investors are those, and everybody can be an investor. You need to get educated, I will say. So, anybody new who wants to get investors to come with you got to educate them. You got to show them presentation. If you DM me or DM brother Gualter, we'll give you our template. We'll give you our template for free. It cost me $10,000 20 years back to make it happen. And, I got a lot of my attorneys involved and everything. So we give it to you for free today. I mean, which is you get with the course and my mentorship program and brother, Gualter's mentorship
So
program.
drop a link in the
Yeah.
chat if not drop a link. If
Just,
drop a request in the chat if you want the
yes,
PowerPoint, drop it in there and I'll come back and
we'll give it to
I'll
you.
filter through
Yeah.
them later. So Vinny,
It's,
going back to this, the passive investors that I'm speaking with now, they're passive in the stock market, but they have no exposure to
Okay.
real estate. There's a couple that was introduced to me by one of my tax professionals, and they said, "Look, these guys have a lot of money sitting in the stock market." But when I
Hmm.
sat on the call with them, they knew nothing. I mean, they owned their single family home, and
Yes.
they knew absolutely nothing about real estate, and they wanted to get in, but they
Oh,
also they kind of knew whys, like everything you just described. I explained to them. I was like, "Hey, here's the four
yes.
ways that real estate makes money. Here's why it makes sense."
Hmm.
And they asked, like, "How do we know how much we should put in? How
Oh.
do we get access to these deals?" Like, because I was like, "Oh yeah, syndications, funds," and they're like, "Well, how do we get access to syndications and funds?" And
Hmm.
for somebody who's looking to pre-sell their capital, because I told them basically you got to let people know that you have money, right? If you go out there and you let people know you have money,
Oh. They'll be getting
it's
deals after deals after deals. You know what? Don't worry because passive investors, LPs, we call it limited partners, have the say on the top whether to go for it or not. They need to look at the who is offering what's the horse, I call it, and the jockey. Jockey is even more important than the horse itself, which is the investment. You got to show this to your CPA, your attorney, your pastor at church, your brother, sister. Don't just keep it to yourself. Share with that. In my situation, I do a Zoom meeting, do the whole presentation, and I give the recording back to my investors. That's what I do always. Whatever I speak, I have to speak the truth because that's the only way to live. Otherwise, you will not raise money. You got to be truthful, authentic. You got to tell them what are the reasons why you're doing what you're doing, what's your business plan, how is the cash flow coming along, all those things, right? But passive investors should be a little bit active in vetting the sponsors, vetting the deal, and feel good about what you're doing and get opinion of all the people in your circle. Don't just say, I'm going to keep this and I just made a decision, I'm going to put 100,000. Never do that. Never do that. Get that deal and then show it to your family, friends, and sleep over it. Don't just decide right away. I just got $500,000 because I didn't pressure new investors. They didn't know me from Adam. They knew me from podcasts and this and that. But they said, Vinny, you are so genuine, so authentic. So I just checked you out everywhere. And they just, 500,000 we raised from not knowing anybody for them to invest with us in 1 week and just got a confirmation for 100,000 last night again. And I think maybe even I might have a student also because they want to grow like me and so forth.
and that's kind of the crux of some of this. I'm reading what you've got here. Let your audience build it with you. So sharing what
Yes,
you're doing, sharing that you want to become a passive investor. I think I've
totally.
seen this. I only have one of my passive investors who's actually starting a presence on social media, and
Oh,
most of my passive investors are really quiet, right? They're hidden, like nobody knows about them. This
ours
one,
too. Oh my
right?
gosh, they never call us. 582 people. They just love us when we bring a good deal, vetted deal. They just press the button. They say, I'll put 100, 250, 500. That's how it is. It should be like that. No, go ahead. Go ahead.
So a lot of investors who don't have an audience, they need somebody who can put their money to work.
Yes.
That's
Yes.
finding obviously this podcast. You can watch podcasts, you can watch interviews, you can go on YouTube, you can through your network or somebody knows an operator, you can connect that way. You also
Totally.
have pre-sale equals proof of concept. So I cut you
Yeah.
off earlier. You were talking about creating the renditions and the renderings. Why
Renderings. Oh,
why are
yeah.
those such a key factor to the business?
See, the thing is, people love to see what your business plan is. Like in my Marriott Courtyard Hotel, right? We changed the deck to put even more pictures of the Generation 6. My investors asked me, Sweeney, show me some pictures. You mean you're going to take this 1998 product, 27 years old, Generation 2 Courtyard Marriott to Generation 6, 2026 model? Can you show me some pictures? I said, darn, Vinny, why didn't you do it? So I did the whole search and we found out all these great pictures, which our contractors within our own company will be doing it. We're going to pull out everything from, so rip out all the carpets, all the floorings, all that, all color schemes, all fixtures, and it's going to look brand new. And we have a 20-year agreement with Marriott to carry the flag. So those things, imaginations, renderings can do it for our investors. It's so important that we paint the picture of what we're going to do with the asset once we take the keys. Investors are not really excited that you found a good asset. They want to know who you are, what's your track record, and what will you do with that asset? Like what you're doing, brother, in Mississippi, in Cleveland. You're changing the world. You are. I mean, giving so many great families a home to live in. I mean, that's what it's all about. You've got to have the service attitude, serving tourism, servicing residents, tourists, residents, and seniors. I
And
say those
seniors.
three seniors. Serving attitude. You are getting up in the morning. Why? You want to bring great housing. Could it be in hotels? Could it be in senior livings or multifamily or storage units? They are huge storage units, mobile home parks, marinas. That's what I'm expanding more and more into it. Mind is just as small as you think. Mind is as big as you think.
And
And you
that
don't need to
brings
be.
that brings
Go ahead.
out diversification. So there's a
Go
model I've
ahead.
seen where the barbell theory exists, right? So some paper assets, some real
Yeah.
estate assets, and then some
Yes.
debt assets. And they tend to, depending on how old a person is, what their goals are, what their
Totally.
assessment is, they'll say, shift among
Totally.
this, shift among that. But a
Yep.
lot of financial advisors do all of it just on the paper side. They'll put a person in the bonds, they'll put a person in the REITs, and they'll put a person into, you know, Fortune 500
That's the
companies.
worst thing one can do. I'm telling you. Can I say that? Oh my gosh. That's
Yep.
the worst thing one can do, to put all your money in Wall Street and lose it all or make some money, or maybe 8% is the average, 8.10 over 15 year, in stock market. The retirement funds should never be, well, no, they should be in both places, but you could do self-directed IRAs, self-directed 401ks, self-directed EQRPs, and kiosk plans, all this. That way, you have a checkbook control to find a good deal in real estate or whatever. Could be precious metals, could be wherever, right? But you should balance. Don't put all eggs in one basket. Because if the basket is blown out, you will not have anything left. Anything left. I mean, diversification is the key to success. And real estate, multi-millionaires are made with real estate, nothing else. Every millionaire, every multimillionaire, billionaire has so much portfolio so that they can hedge their active incomes, passive incomes. The beauty is, I just interviewed Ted Lanzaro yesterday, right? It's so
Wow.
fresh in my mind. And he says, Vinny, in your hotels, you will have 1.5 or 2 million. It's called disposition tax write-off or something, cost segregation, disposition. Anything you take out to rip out, find a CPA to give value to it. Wow. So you get double dipping. You take out the materials out, you write those off, then you're putting new things into the hotel, all these fixtures, all these new furnitures and all. That's 4 million you just told me, Vinny. It says that is dollar for dollar deductible because bonus depreciation is here, 100% bonus
Wow.
depreciation. So every dollar, I said, is it going to reduce? Like if I put some more capital into next year and next year, capex. He says, Vinny, they stipulated it's 100% bonus depreciation for every year for many years until they change it. And then all those laws are here for us to take care of, to use them. I mean, the worst thing can happen is that people say, I don't know about this, I don't know that, I don't know that. Then I say, you know what? Be dumb enough to just read it or get ChatGPT, just ask them, or go to YouTube. YouTube is the best mentor and coach, and free, everything free. Just write down your what you want to know, and so much comes out there. I'm so positive on Google, and not Google now, search. I like YouTube, ChatGPT, Perplexity, those three, and Grok. And Grok.
I've been using Grok more too. So this last one is build the runway while you're flying. So you're not saying, hey, have everything figured out. What you're saying is create a
No.
vision, share the vision, let people know what you're doing, let your family know what you're doing, let your investors know what you're doing, so you can get that guidance and be more be
Yes.
very clear about it, because
Mhm.
it's also something you're not going to do alone. Like there's a good chance that some of these deals you're going to bring your family in with you. You're going to bring friends
Totally.
in with you,
Totally.
and that
Totally.
also spreads some of the risk when you're mentioning the things you're doing. A lot of times having other people in it makes it easier for that deal to go through faster. A lot of
Yes.
deals don't get funded, right? So that's something that we got to talk about. Many deals
Yeah.
out there do not get funded. They start the deal, the fund gets ready to go, and then they don't hit their caps, and so the deal ends up
Yes.
going to somebody else. So
Yes.
sometimes you give the soft commit, you think your money's going to get allocated, and then it doesn't. So passive lenders actually have, or passive investors have an opportunity to bring in and almost solidify and guarantee the deal by bringing other investors.
Yes.
How does somebody pitch a deal to their family? Because I see this fail all the time, right? All the time. People are like, oh man, I
Oh,
love this. I talked to my brother and they couldn't get it. It's not for them. Why is it that family and friends tend to do absolutely terrible at pitching deals when they are actively invested inside of a deal?
it's interesting what you just said. It's like you really know the person so well. And if your track record with the family is not that strong, guess what? It's going to hinder you. I'm telling you, unless you show them that you have mastered. And this is where you have gone and you have gotten certifications, or you've joined some, big coach or mentorship program. I'm telling you, it's so important to invest that 120,000 that I invested, making millions now, right? Because of that small investment. The key thing is you got to be trying your PowerPoint presentation, which we'll give it to you for free today. DM Brother Gualter or me, and or just text,
Drop a comment
right?
below.
Yeah, comment below. Just tell us your email address. We'll ship it to you. Nothing. Nobody will call you or anything. You could just get it for free. The key thing is you got to take active role in taking your dollars wherever they are to grow, because inflation is 3-4%. I know they say 2.6%, but it's 6-7%.
I
Go
remember
look
not
at.
too long ago it was 6, 7, 8%.
Yeah,
So
I know.
it does that. Like it goes
I,
up big spikes.
Totally, totally. I mean, look at gas station over here. It's 5.89 per gallon. When I go to Texas, it's $1.99. So California inflation is much higher than any other place anyway. But the thing is, you got to be actively showing your family what you have learned. This is your model. This is the worksheet that my coach gave me. And I've been attending his, mentoring sessions, and invite them in. Like I had 27 people. I had 14 people yesterday. There are so many people are flocking to come into, and I give them 4 lessons free. Come in there, check us out. If you like that, great, stay. If you do, that's okay too. But the key thing is you got to tell your family, I am learning this skill. And that's how I did it, by the way, and show them the proof, and show them the PowerPoint presentation. They will really, really, really like you, because they know you're learning it, that you won't blow their money. The reason they don't give you credits or, time of the day is because they don't understand how much you have mastered the material. That's the key thing. You got to show them. And Chat GPT, if you're buying in certain area in Kansas City, I showed that to my students last night. We went on Perplexity, and I went over everywhere. and then Brother Saurabh had done so much by one of my students. He's moving to Seattle now. And he showed how much work he had done. I was so impressed with him. And he says, Vinny, these are the three. Cleveland came, brother, your backyard. Then Kansas City, and one more place. One more place. I forget. Oh, Indianapolis. Oh my gosh.
Indianapolis.
They
Yep.
showed up right on the top. And he had done so many studies. We went on LoopNet, we went on brokers, we went to their websites, we said distressed assets, seller financing. Chat GPT was bringing all of them right there. We said put them in tabular form. It did it right there. Give us the websites, everything. So my mentoring session is how to fish. I don't want to give them the fish. I just want them to learn how to fish and go as an eagle and fly away. Fly away. They don't need me. People are paying $20,000 to me now. So many students are paying 20,000. Wow. What?
Because
For personal
it's a
sessions.
small drop in the bucket compared to what they're making in the future and what
Totally.
the education brings them. I mean,
Totally.
I've got about
Totally.
1 minute before I gotta jump to my I
Okay,
have a
brother.
something I gotta jump in
Yes.
with, but
Yes. Yes.
I want to go back and just say, look, I built 37 millionaires because I was showing people what I was doing. That's all it was. All it
Yes.
was
That's
sharing. And I
it.
think you hit it
That's
pretty hard,
it.
Vinny. Most people who want their friends and families to come in are like keeping everything they're doing close to their chest, not telling anyone. And then one day they're
Yeah.
like, oh, by the way, look, I made a bunch of money. And
No.
it's like, well, how did you what? But if you share the whole journey all the way through,
Yes.
then
That
it
is
becomes
the
so
key.
much easier for them to grasp that you've
Much
done some
easier.
things, that you know what you're doing, you've had some failures, you had some successes. Don't wait
See,
to be perfect because
money
nobody's gonna
cannot
know.
be,
Yeah.
nobody's going to give you money right away. They have to trust you. They have to understand that they're going to have preservation of capital is number one, then making more money on capital is number two, then returning of money is number three. So those three things, they have to make a decision. You can't even get $5 from anybody, but you got to set up best presentation and the brochure and teach them investors. That's how I built my company, meeting one investor at a time. I have only met out of 582 investors, 36 I've met physically. Just 36, brother. Rest are all on Skype and this and go to meetings. I mean, I've been using this technology when it was antiquated, 20 years back. I always said to them, I want to see you. You see me, and I'll show you the presentation and I'll record it. I'll send decks, anything you need. But
And,
show it to your CPA, your attorney, your pastor, yeah, and your family, everybody.
and over 15 years, that's 582 investors that you've been face to face with, built those
Yes,
relationships with, getting on your webinars.
yes,
So, ladies and gentlemen,
yes.
this is Abundance Thursdays. We do this every Thursday at 9 a.m.
Damn.
PST, 12 p.m. EST. And if
EST.
you want to
Yeah.
learn more about Vinny, Vinny's got some trainings. You can go to vinnychopra.com/events. And if you want to learn more about Vinny and his deals, you can just go to vinnychopra.com. And there's a
Today,
lot
4
out there.
p.m., 4 p.m. Pacific. Today, I'll be teaching 1 hour alternative assessments. The blueprint to success of wealth building is today's topic tonight. 4 p.m. PST. Just go to vinnychopra.com/events or vinnychopra.com/hotel. Actually, we are doing two hotels right now. If you want 13% annual return paid out monthly from day one, reach out to me. Thank you.
Cheers to your success. We have a choice. I always work with the best. We'll see
Accredited
you next week.
investors only. I appreciate that.
Accredited
Accredited
investors only.
investors only. I have to
See you.
say that. My attorney said, Vinny, you got to say